Hey guys, so I just came on here real quick because I just found my first white hair. Okay, it's oh, where'd it go? Shoot. Okay, it's right here. Right there. And it's actually like, let me not pull it out, but this is it. That's crazy. Your girl getting older, child. And it's like kind of orange right now because I put henna in my hair, so the orange, I think it like made it orange, but that's how I know it's a white hair because I was like, why do I have an orange strand of hair in my head? But yeah, it's a white. It's a white. Okay, so I went through and trimmed all of my hair. This is what it's looking like. I cannot get past shoulder length. I cannot get past shoulder length as long as I have been natural. I've been natural since 2018. This is the length I always am. Always, 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 always. Anyways, so I just wanted to come on here and talk about aging in your 30s and chasing the fountain of youth, being scared of getting older, biological clock ticking, all of that bullshit they've been selling us. I'm here to talk about it today because I found my first white hair, and it's like, on one hand, I'm excited. On the other hand, I'm like, girl, it's happening. It's happening to you. It's happening. You're for real getting older. And I know, especially as millennials, I feel like a lot of us, we hit like 28, like a 28, and we're like, oh, I'm so old. I can't go out. I can't do this. I'm tired. Like literally, I feel like at 28, we just start this like I'm old talk and conversation. We kind of age ourselves prematurely. And then as we do actually start getting older, it's like, wait a minute, what's actually happening here? Like, I wake up and ow, my bones are actually like cracking into place. My back hurt. I can't do the things I used to do anymore. I can't hit the club and leave the house at 11, leave at 2:30, go to the after spot at 4 and stay out till 6 and then wake up at 8 for work, bright and chipper. I used to do that, okay? When I was in my early 20s, I used to do that, but yeah, no. Gen Z, POP, hold it down because ain't no way. While seeing a white hair isn't a big deal in the grand scheme of things, it's like, okay, whatever, now you have white hairs. For me, growing up, I was conditioned like white hair, like that shows you're aging, that shows you're getting older. Remove it, get rid of it, like hide the fact that you are maturing, that you are coming into an older age, and you're not gonna look the same, you're not gonna have the same body, you're not gonna have the same face, the same hair. It is kind of a big deal to see that because it's just like, oh wow, this is the age that my mom was when she was calling me into her room to come and get her tweezers and pluck out her white hairs. She was in her maybe early 40s. She was in her early 40s at that time. And so I just think about how now the millennials that are starting to cross into the 30s threshold, mid 30s, late 30s, I feel like a lot of us are embracing age. One, just because I think we have more technology now, we have better knowledge about how to take care of our skin, our hair, our body, that we already kind of still are keeping our youth, our clear skin, our, radiance a bit longer than older generations just because they were maybe a little less knowledgeable. They wasn't using sunscreen. Okay, they wasn't using sunscreen. They wasn't, putting on the Korean 8-step, layers of skincare. And this is, a very American perspective. So if you're in Korea watching this, like your mama was probably doing all of that. But as an American, yeah, that was not, like Gen X, they wasn't doing all of that, okay? They was going to work and coming home, and I have a hair on my lip that's freaking annoying. They weren't doing all of that. They weren't, making more money than ever than any other generation previously. We are making the most money than any generation previously was. However, we still can't afford shit. But because of that, we can now afford a little Botox, a little filler, a facial, you know what I'm saying? Some laser, you know what I'm saying? Some of us even go as far as getting cosmetic surgery, okay? But yeah, I just feel like because of all of the technological and just knowledge advancements that have happened over the past decade or so, decades, we are now investing more in ourselves. We're a bit more conscious of like what goes into and onto our bodies. And so we look a little better. I watch those videos where they show the history of the 70s, 80s, the 90s, and like just how people look different. My minor was sociology, y'all. So I love like watching how groups of people have evolved and how they interact and all of that. They were talking about how people, like we watched older videos. Like when we watch older videos, we're like, wow, these people are supposed to be in high school, but they look so much older than us. People that were in high school in the 80s and the 70s look older than me right now in my 30s. And if you look at the videos, they look just a lot more older, a lot more mature. And it goes into more so just like the trends, the styles, the fashion of the time was just a lot more mature. And nowadays our style, our how we do our hair, how we do our makeup is just a lot more young, a little more youthful. But it also goes to show like how the older generations didn't really have the toolbox, to make themselves look and feel quote unquote younger. That goes to the next topic of like, what is younger? What is older? Is it a mindset? Is it your actual age? Is there an age you hit where you're like, I am now this age, I am old, Or is this like, I am still this age, so I am young? I feel like once you pass 30, the lines get a little blurred. It's like, okay, I'm over 30, so I am for sure an adult, okay? There's no mistaking my adulthood or my responsibilities. There's no skirting these bills, okay? You know what I'm saying? But there's like this youthfulness still of like, well, I'm 30, but they are 40, 50, 60, I'm closer to my 20s and my teens than I am my 50s and 60s. So am I old? Am I young? Where are you? Where are we? I don't know. When thinking about youth and thinking about just aging, it's all relative, is what I'm learning. It's all relative. Because I will go to I'll see my younger cousins who are like just graduating high school. I have a couple cousins that just graduated high school. Shout out to y'all. And they'll be like, oh, how old are you? How old are you now? Da, da, da. And I'll say my age. And they're like, oh, that's how old you are? Wow. Oh, ooh, ooh. And it doesn't make me feel any type of way because one, I used to do the same thing when I was their age. I would hear my older cousins' ages and be like, why are you here if you're that old? And now here we are. Oh, life is a circle. But two, it's because it's relative. For them at their age, yes, I am a lot older. If I came across someone who was 29 in their 20s, but maybe they're in their late 20s, it's like, oh, okay, yeah, we're like age mates. But then you come across someone who's in their 40s, 50s, and they might look at you and be like, you're younger, you're like too young for me. And it sounds basic, but when you think about age as just being relative to how old everyone else is around you, then you realize it's not that big of a deal, okay? It's not that big of a deal because if I hang out with a bunch of young people, yeah, I might feel old. But if I'm with this group of people or with that group of people, I might feel younger. I say all that to say, it's why when I found my white hair, I was just like, what? It made me excited because it just shows like I am getting older. But then it brought me back to my mother's age and how relative, like my relative closeness to her age at that time when she was plucking the white hairs and very conscious about what her hair looked like and her hair color. It just all became relative to me, you know? So it makes me feel closer to my mom, but also like, damn bitch, you getting older, you getting older. Especially being very online, it's such a weird time because it's like, okay, what am I supposed to be doing? Okay. I'm also getting on my Zoom, like the Gen Z kids say. Okay. However, I am also paying a 401k, paying a mortgage. Okay. So these are the in-between years, I would say. And I just feel like as millennials, we're in this very unique place in the world of being able to have that duality of, you know, knowing what it meant to grow up in the 80s and 90s, but also knowing what it meant to grow up in the 2000s and beyond. And just being in the middle of that is beautiful to me. So let my white hair be a testament to that, okay? But yeah, this was just a random rant. I'm sitting in here doing my hair and I saw the white. Let me see if she's still present. She's not. There was another one over here too, actually. But yeah, I saw the white and, you know, I saw the Karen. No, I'm just kidding. I saw the white and I was like, let me just come on here and talk about this because it's not a big deal for a lot of people. But it was exciting for me. It was a moment for me just because it took me back. But yeah, thank you for watching. I would love to hear your thoughts on aging, relativity, you know, keeping up with the fountain of youth, all of that, being a millennial, almost being a Gen Z, Gen X, in the comments. Let's talk about age, y'all. Let's talk about it. Let's bust it wide open because it's happening and you can't stop it, okay? You can't stop it. All right. Like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next video.